W action, W movie. Hey guys, this is Frozen Wish Studios here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today, I'm going to be doing a review on Sonic the Hedgehog 3. So, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is the third installment in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, and it came out in the year 2024 and is directed by Jeff Fowler, and it stars Ben Schwartz, Jim Carrey, Keanu Reeves, Idris Elba, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, Kristen Ritter, James Marsden, Tika Sumpter, Alila Brown, Lee Mahdoub, Natasha Rothwell, Shemar Moore, Adam Pally, Tom Butler, etc. And so the film tells the story of Shadow who has escaped from prison after 50 years and now is on the run to get revenge in the world for taking away his life. Well, pretty much the things that meant him the most. So Shadow, Tails, and Knuckles are sent on a mission to take down Shadow. And on the way, they do realize what the Shadow's plan actually is. And it turns out that Gerald Robotnik, Eggman's grandfather, was the one behind everything, the waking of Shadow, and the plot to destroy the world. And also, Shadow, Tails, and Knuckles they have no choice but to team up with Eggman to take the Shadow. But although yes, Eggman does team up with Gerald and Shadow for a while, and it does take a while for Eggman to realize his grandfather's true colors, and once he does, he has a path of redemption. And also, speaking of redemption, along that journey, Sonic must learn to make the right choices and do the good action and do the right thing. So now I know, so sorry for the late. I'm a little bit late to the party with this one, as this film came out last Friday, same day as Mufasa the Lion King. And yes, guys, I actually saw Mufasa first before Sonic 3, and I know you guys are gonna hate me for this. You guys are gonna not like me for this, for choosing to watch Mufasa over Sonic 3, but I mean, I guess it was for the best. The reason why I chose Mufasa first over Sonic 3 was because Mufasa was already online. Mufasa came into the online websites first before Sonic 3, and also I just wanted to get Mufasa out of the way just so I could do my extreme rant in it, which was a great video. And by the way, just like with my Mufasa rant, I'm once again doing this indoor. I'm doing this inside my house because of the crappy weather. Kind of a shame. It's Christmas and the weather outside is pretty bad. And speaking of Christmas, guys, I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to you all. Merry Christmas. Anyways, now, but even though I saw Mufasa first over Sonic 3 out of all on my will, I've always been on Team Sonic against Mufasa, because if you saw my rant on Mufasa, then you already know how much I absolutely hated Mufasa. I think Mufasa is an absolute terrible movie. An absolute pile of garbage that it is. But Sonic now. I'm sure you guys have seen my reviews of the Sonic films earlier this year. As I chose to do them leading up to Knuckles. Now, I know people were telling me that it's better to do my Sonic 1 and 2 reviews in preparation for Sonic 3 than Knuckles. But the reason why I chose to review them first before Knuckles over Sonic 3 was because of the fact that Sonic 3 was released in December, and I knew that Sonic 3 was I mean, I knew that December was going to be a hassle. Plus the fact that I was already prepared to review the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit trilogies in preparation for the Lord of the Rings, the War of the Rohirrim. I think I made the right choice because not because I had to postpone some of my videos. I like my Dream Productions review. Yeah, I'm gonna review that show on Inside Out 2's first anniversary in June. Maybe. Well, we'll see. But yeah. Um. So yeah. Now as for a recap on my thoughts on the first two Sonic films. Yeah, I still stand by my thoughts on Sonic, the first Sonic movie being overrated and weak. Yeah, pretty mediocre film. It's just not a cup of tea. Now, I respect the movie mainly because of how Paramount listened to the fans and criticisms against the ugly Sonic that we do not speak of. Yeah, but besides an amazing CGI Sonic, the story is just lame and it's kind of a bore. It's a bore fest. It's not as fun as it should be because it's just a generic road trip movie that has nothing to do with the Sonic games whatsoever. But Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is now that's more like it. Is it a perfect movie? No. Is it flawless? No. But the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is awesome, and I don't get why people say that Sonic 2 is weaker than the first film. I'd say Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is leaps and bounds better than the first film. Of course, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 had like million times more hype than the first two films ever had. Reason why is because of Shadow. And why would people hype up this movie all because of one character? May ask. Well, it's because with Shadow being in this film, yeah, the tone is gonna be dark and gritty, and they're gonna be raising the stakes higher. And this was going to be adapting Sonic Adventures 2, which Sonic Adventures 2 is my personal favorite Sonic game ever. And the hype was there. And even the trailers looked amazing. Yeah, the trailers were freaking awesome. Especially with Sonic and especially with Shadow being voiced by Keanu Reeves, which is peak casting. By the way, I think that Keanu Reeves is the perfect actor to voice Shadow. And I always knew from the very beginning that Keanu Reeves should voice Shadow, and they just knocked it out of the park with this casting choice. So Sonic 3 Sonic 3 is now officially the highest rated video game movie, and the fact that it has like a whooping 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, honestly, it's really surprising to see the Sonic 3 actually get rave reviews. Well, not entirely rave. There were some people who said that this was meh, but I mean the high critics rating speak for itself, especially in comparison to the first two movies. Oh, and by the way, I almost forgot to give you guys my quick thoughts on the Knuckles show, which for some reason has a higher rating than the two Sonic movies. Honestly, guys, I will say this: Knuckles is a bad show. Honestly, yeah, I know Sonic fans will hate me for this, but I mean, Knuckles just felt like the first Sonic film all over again, but just done a lot more lazily and a lot more boring. And the fact that it was mainly more of a show about Wade with treating the title character as a secondary main character, Peter Agonist. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Knuckles is just now. Do I hate it? No, but honestly, I just don't care about Knuckles, and I don't care to review it. So now, just before I get to what I actually thought of Sonic 3, I just want to say that this review is coming from someone who is not, a super fan of Sonic. Now, do I like the Sonic franchise? Hell yes, I do. Especially Sonic Adventure 2. Adventures 2. I think that game is a masterpiece. In fact, Sonic Adventures 2 would now be on my top 10 favorite games of all time list on reflection. But yeah, but I'm just more of a casual player than like just casual player. And I have not played every single Sonic games. I bought new Sonic games in my vacation actually. Um, I think that the shows are just alright with Sonic Boom being my favorite one. But I don't what the reason why I don't consider myself a Sonic super fan is because I don't really obsess about it that much, and I just don't have the best knowledge on the lore. But so I would say yes, I'm kind of a fan, but not a fanatic. Now, as for my thoughts on Sonic the Hedgehog 3, I gotta say, this was so good. Holy crap. I loved Sonic the Hedgehog 3. This trilogy has truly evolved from a pretty lame first movie to a masterful third film. Yeah, this is one of those trilogies that gets better and better and better as it goes along. It was so good that it made me now an even bigger Sonic fan than I initially was. Do I think Sonic is like the best thing in the world? Nope. I think there are better video games out there, but Sonic, yeah, if I were to give you guys my top three favorite video game franchises now, Sonic would actually be third. Yeah, I'm still more of a Mario fan than a Sonic fan when it comes to the games. Last of Us is still the goat of video game franchises. And speaking of Mario, yeah, I gotta say, this has now topped the Super Mario Bros. Movie as my favorite video game movie of all time. And yes, now I did overpraise the Mario movie a bit in my initial review of that film last year. Now, while I still think it's a damn amazing movie, a damn like really great film, it's not perfect. But I feel like this film right here is pretty much the movie that I praised Mario for. Yeah, all my praises that I've given the Super Mario Bros. Movie feels like it's gone to Sonic 3 now. Yeah. Now, is this the greatest video game adaptation ever? Not really. If I were to do a top 10 best video game adaptations list for both movies and TV shows, I would rank this at number four. I still have Last of Us Fallout. No, sorry, Last of Us Arcane and Fallout as the best video game adaptations. Arcane in particular being the greatest video game adaptation. What I love about Sonic 3 is that it felt like a massive scale superhero blockbuster. Yeah, I love how they sucked out most of the childish things in the first two films. Even though it's not a bad thing in the second film, and just was like, you know what? Forget all of that. Let's go the superhero route. And as someone who's like a sucker of superhero films, yeah, that's what made Sonic 3 just something. Yeah, something to behold. Now, imagine Spider-Man No Way Home, but it saved the Tobey and Andrews Spider-Man for the post-credit scene. That's the best way to describe Sonic 3. It actually felt like the Spider-Man No Way Home of video game movies. The movie is filled to the brim with action scenes after action scenes, and there is a lot of action, and I mean I would say almost non-stop, but just almost. When the Tokyo action sequences kicks off 10 minutes into the film, you know you're in for a wild ride as the film is just filled with action. And this did not feel like a kid's film at all. I know, I get that the Sonic franchise is, a film that, Sonic's a franchise that's mainly geared towards kids. And yeah, Sonic Hedgehog 1 is certainly a kid's movie. I would kind of say the same thing for Sonic Hedgehog 2, but like I'd say like, it represents the good kids movie. Sonic 3 did not feel like a kid's film at all, since there were some real stakes to it, and it was not afraid to have balls. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna be spoiling this film. I forgot to mention that this will be a spoiler-filled review, so you have been warned with spoilers. Yeah, I'm gonna spoil things in this review. And by the way, you all should have seen Sonic 3 by now. I'm pretty sure most of you have already seen Sonic 3, but if you haven't seen Sonic 3 yet, it's your fault. And I think you should watch it. So yeah. This film even goes as far as killing off certain characters, such as Commander Walters and Eggman. Certain characters. Now, by the way, I actually prefer calling him Doctor Robotnik and Eggman, but the only reason I'm going to call him Eggman for Sonic 3 in particular, is because it's just to not mistaken him with Gerald Robotnik, which I'll talk about Gerald later on in the video, in the review. Certain characters were also presumed dead, but then were revealed to still remain alive at the end, such as Tom and Shadow. Yeah, yeah. There was that one scene where Shadow punched Tom so hard that he put Tom in a coma, and I actually thought that Tom was actually dead. I was like, I was actually ready to tell a few people that I can't believe they killed off Tom, only for him to be revealed to be alive at the end, and he was only at the coma. So I'm glad for that. But imagine killing off Tom. Now that would be something. Yeah, and also yes, you got Shadow's sacrifice. That he just like with the Dr. Eggman, Shadow also sacrificed himself to save the world, to save the planet, and yeah. But Shadow was revealed to still be alive at the end. Although with Dr. Robotnik, yeah, or Eggman, yeah, I'm actually convinced that he's actually truly dead. This is by far the darkest and most mature Sonic film yet. And if you guys have known me so well, you know that I love a good old dark and mature family film, because I don't want kids to just keep seeing sunshine and rainbows in their movies. I want them to just see that the world can be dark as well. And this is the kind of family movies that kids need. Fingers crossed that Sonic the Hedgehog 4 will be just as dark and mature as this one. Yeah, please don't go the Sonic 1 route, just like what Knuckles did. But despite this film's serious and dark nature, it still doesn't shy away from its humor, and this is honestly the funniest Sonic film yet. This film's sense of humor was all thanks to Jim Carrey for giving his most over-the-top, goofy, cheesy, corny performance yet. By the way, I'm saying goofy, cheesy, and corny in a good way, And it's even better when he plays dual roles. I get why people say Jim Carrey is still a standout, even with Keanu Reeves in this one. I still would prefer Keanu Reeves over Jim Carrey when it comes to performances, but yeah, Jim Carrey, yeah, his sense of humor is great. And what I love about the humor in this film is how what I love is how do I say this, how it doesn't take away the dark and mature moments. I mean, it doesn't take away from that. The humor, the comedy is there at the right timing, and it doesn't it, how do I say this, it doesn't sorry, I'm lost, but it doesn't interrupt the dark moments. When the dark moments are present in the film, they don't really they the moment stays serious throughout. So yeah, I gotta compliment the film for that. But yeah, but Eggman and Gerald Robotnik's chemistry, yeah, that's actually where the humor truly shines, especially with how over the top they are. Yeah, I think probably the most memorable funny scene for me besides the trailers, with the you know with your Tails being called Pikachu, and then Knuckles like mocks Tails for it. Yeah, was where was Eggman and General Robotnik's fight. Yeah, his. That was honestly one of the funniest action scenes I've ever seen. Yeah, Eggman versus General Robotnik, and yeah, especially when they both like use some mechs to transform their bodies into like scorpions and and all that stuff and other insects and mantis. And then Eggman says like prepare defense, and the AI, the system just builds a fence. Yeah, that was hilarious. Oh, and speaking of Gerard Robotnik's body being turned into a bug, I gotta say, Gerard Robotnik is Maxime Lamal done right. Yep, yeah. I'm sure you guys know that Maxime is the worst villain of 2024, and the worst villain in general. Yeah, Gerald Robotnik is how you do. Yeah, it is how you do Maxime Lamal. In fact, I actually prefer Gerald Robotnik over Eggman. Like when it comes to Jim Carrey's dual roles, he was the true big bad of the film, and he was even more intimidating than Dr. Robotnik in both of the first two films. Like his plan to use a certain a certain ship to destroy the world is insane, and the fact that there would even be there would even be like a world domination plot line in a family movie like this. Damn, yeah, I mean, damn. That is how massive and scale this film is, even for a family film. This film was surprisingly emotional too, with moments like Shadow's backstory, and yeah, including Maria's death. Seeing Shadow and Maria together, it actually did make me almost tear up, especially with the fact that we all know that Maria is going to die, and when Maria dies, yeah, it shed a tear to my eyes, and even when Tom was put to a coma, and I personally thought that Tom was dead. Yeah, I actually did tear up thinking that Tom was going to die, even though turns out he wasn't. Eggman and Shadow's sacrifices were also very emotional too, and as for my thoughts on the story, now I don't have a lot to say about this plot. I mean, it's very straightforward, very simple, but what makes the story truly great for me, it is the heart and the message of the film to make the right choices and not let anger get the best of you. Yeah, and I think that's actually one thing that the first two films lacked, like a deep and powerful message like this one. I think the message was powerful. Sure, they do repeat the message a lot, especially when every characters would constantly remind this message to Sonic, but it doesn't do it in a way where it becomes preachy. It's actually well told. The message is actually well done. Tails and Shadow would be tied as my favorite characters in the film. I give it a slight edge to Tails because man, I just love Tails, especially with how cute he is, and I think Tails is underrated. Like, I mean, I can't believe no one talks about Tails. Remember Sonic the Hedgehog 1 where everyone cheered at Tails appearing in the post-credits scene. Well, yeah, in Sonic 2, yeah, the moment when they announced that Knuckles was going to be in Sonic 2, people just threw that Tails hype out of the window, and he was barely talked about, which is sad. Captain Rockwell is easily the best human character. I'm talking about the characters who were not in the game, so excluding the Robotniks and Maria. Yeah, she's the best human character in the Sonic franchise, and it's not even close. I don't get why people call her an unnecessary character as sorry. She was far more necessary than others think. One of the biggest surprises in the film was having her be a twist villain, which is something I did not see coming. And by the way, yeah, she is one of the best at twist villains yet. And yeah, and I gotta say, yeah, Captain Rockwell is my Sonic crush. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Yeah, yeah, I have a theory that she'd be a major antagonist in Sonic the Hedgehog 4, as it's easy to tell that there's more to her sleeves, even when her screen time was over in the film. Now, as for my favorite scene in the film, it would have to be Super Sonic versus Super Shadow, where Sonic tried to get his revenge in Shadow for hurting Tom and nearly killing Tom, and then yeah remember. I'm sure you saw in the trailer Sonic and Shadow like fighting each other in lava, and then both of them would say, "This ends now." Yeah, that scene in particular, that's my favorite scene in the film. Yeah. The final battle with Super Sonic and Super Shadow like teaming up with each other, yeah, to take down Robotnik's ship and have a live and learn play in the background. Yeah, that was another mind blowing moment, and truly an amazing fan service moment. Of course, Shadow's backstory with Maria has to be right up there as among the best scenes in the film because of how dark and tragic it is. And then there's the post-credit scene with the introduction of Metal Sonic and especially Amy Rose. Yeah, I can see why people are cheering over Amy Rose's appearance, as Amy Rose is one of my absolute favorite Sonic characters. Yeah, in fact, she's actually my second favorite character in the games. Yeah, Tails would be my favorite Sonic character in the games, but Amy Rose is a close second. In fact, you know what? Screw it. Tails is my true number one favorite character in the film, with Shadow being second. And Amy Rose is gonna be. Amy Rose could possibly be maybe my favorite Sonic character in Sonic 4, but we'll see. Either her or Tails. Yeah, and that post-credit scene is one of the greatest post-credit scenes of all time. It's literally on the same level of greatness as the MCU's post-credit scenes. Yeah. Now, if I had a nitpick with the film, my only nitpick is that the song "Run It" was honestly meh. It's an alright song, but it's just, yeah, I expected something a little more epic. Yeah, especially with the kind of film that this is. And this song kind of feels out of place with the world of Sonic. Like, if you look at the songs in the first two films, like "Speed Me Up" and "Stars in the Sky," they really feel like Sonic songs. Like you can tell that they're Sonic songs, but "Run It" it's a solid song on its own, but it doesn't feel like a Sonic song at all. So yeah, "Run It" is definitely the weakest one of the three songs in the film. But that's pretty much it. So overall, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is the best video game movie yet. Yeah, this is the first video game movie that I actually call flawless, and for good reasons. It is a Sonic fan's dream come true, while possibly making lesser Sonic fanatics like myself become more of a Sonic fan. This is also one of those examples of what a family movie should be. We need more family movies like this, certainly. Now, yes, I did see this film online, admittedly. And I know people are going to be like, "Oh, but Frozen, why did you see this movie online? Why did you see this movie in cinemas?" That's because this movie does not come out in my country until January 15th. So, but don't worry, guys. I guarantee you I will see this one in theaters. And plus, this isn't even the first time I've watched the movie online first before seeing it in theaters. I've even done that with the Super Mario Bros. Movie. So yeah. Is this the best movie of 2024, like what some people are claiming? Not really. There are better movies this year, and this actually slightly missed the top 10. The Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim would still be the best December 2024 film for me, but this would currently be my second favorite maybe third later on, but we'll see how Nosferatu goes. So with that said, guys, I'm going to give Sonic the Hedgehog 3 5 stars out of 5. A masterpiece movie. So also for my review of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, what are your thoughts on the film? I'm sure we can all agree that this is the best Sonic the Hedgehog film yet. But would you agree this is the best video game movie yet? Or is there another video game movie that you prefer over this? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my Christmas review, which is going to be Claus. So yeah, bye guys.